What is the fundamental rethinking of business processes? What if the process that you have right now is not working and you need to rethink the entire process? What do you need to do in order to ensure that your processes are always relevant? Why is it so important to measure the output of every process? In this video, I'm going to answer those questions and more. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify when do you need to tweak a process and when do you actually have to rethink the entire process and a small tweak will just not make it. And if that is the case, how do you reimagine your entire flow from beginning to end and make it so you can scale the business? One thing that is for sure is that business processes change. They don't stay the same. There are always changes. There can be external changes as AI tools that change or technology tools that change, and that will drive the change into your business processes. Or you have internal changes. You decide to create a new line of products, or you are offering a new service, or perhaps there is a completely new line of offerings that you would like to offer to your customers or clients. So you have those changes. Now, sometimes the changes can be small, and all it takes is to tweak your existing processes. In order to do that, we advise our clients to conduct process review on a regular basis. So that way, you are not operating with processes that are not up to date. If the process is changing in a significant way, you have to rethink the entire process. It's not enough to just tweak one thing here or one thing there. You actually have to look at the entire process and rethink it, reimagine it, rework it. In that case, you have to follow the steps as if though you are creating a brand new process. But when you're doing that, my advice is that you do not drop what is already working. So keep doing what you're doing, and at the same time, build this new process, try it out, and when it is working, then implement it. So what are the steps that you need to take? The first thing is you need to define the input of the process and the output. You have to understand the purpose of the process. What is this process going to solve? What problem is it going to solve? And what new opportunities exist as a result of this process being workable? Once you identify the purpose of the process, then it's time to map the process. So you have the input, you have the output, and you map all the major steps in between. When that is done, it's time to build the process. When you're building it, you're redesigning it from scratch. Based on what was successful before, you will know what steps you need to take in order to get from point A to point B. But now, because you're rethinking the process, then you have to evaluate each step. What is the purpose of that step? What are we trying to accomplish? And measure if it's working. Then you're going to build the process step by step until you get all the steps together. Then you roll it out, you execute it, you try it out, you measure the success, you tweak it, you change things that are not working, you come up with other bright ideas, implement it, test it, measure it, and so on. You repeat that process until you get to a point where you have something that can be repeated over and over. And of course, at the beginning, because it's a new process, you have to measure it constantly to make sure that it's actually working, and be willing to change. It doesn't mean that if you constructed this process that you're going to continue with this process without any change. You have to be willing to change, you have to be willing to measure, you have to be willing to observe and to act on it so you get the best results by adjusting what needs to be adjusted. So you do need to decide whether it takes a small tweak or a complete change of the process. And if you need to change the process, then you just start as if though you are documenting the process from scratch, try it out, find a version that works, and then implement it. When it's time to rebuild from the ground up, structure is everything. Watch this next video where I go over the major components that every process should have. So subscribe to my channel and watch that video. I'm Adi, and I'm the founder of Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures. Would love to help you, so subscribe to my channel and watch the other content that is there.